Hey, I got a little different mount for this video, and I thought it would. It's a recording mount. It's recording while it's mounted, and I thought it wouldn't be clear, but it's better than the other one I use. I normally use this one, and amazingly, this one's better. It's a better angle. I'm not like. This is normally what I record from. This is it. And it. I want to talk about a case that I had heard about. I think it happened a little bit over a year ago. It was in Tennessee. A New York policeman broke into someone's house. Said he believed he was at a Nashville home, and he was at his Airbnb. Terrorized the family, and he was sentenced for jail time, probation. This Friday, today's Monday. Michael D. Reynolds, 26, who works patrol in Manhattan for NYPD, was charged with assault and aggravated burglary after the July 2018 break-in. I had forgotten about this. September, he pleaded no contest to 1 count of aggravated criminal trespassing and 3 counts for assault for his role in the attack. During a more than 2-hour sentencing hearing Friday, 4 witnesses, the victim, 2 of her neighbors and friends, took the stand in Davidson County Criminal Court, and with the cop getting 2 weeks in jail and 2 weeks probation. Woman, Connice Halliburton, who said she was home with her 4 sons, who were 8 and 11 at the time, recalled him kicking in the front door of her 12 South area home and charging in the South End home in the middle of the night. I can't read it. Video surveillance taken from a neighbor's Ring camera showed Reynolds screaming and threatening the family using racial slurs. Halliburton, the mother, who dialed 911 before he broke in, said she was in her bed when she heard a man outside her house go and say, "Don't go," before he entered her home. The man later said, "Did you make her strip?" Once he entered the home, her dog tried to bite him. He kept coming down the hall. Nothing was holding him back. She said, he was like, "This is my mother effing house." Surveillance footage with audio shared by a neighbor. The man can be heard saying, "Try to shoot me, I'll break every effing bone in your effing neck." He can also be calling them the N-word, niggers. 2 of her sons stepped in between her and Reynolds. The only reason he left was because she told him police were on their way. And the entire incident lasted over 8 minutes. Police could not find him. She told them they should talk to the group of men staying in the Airbnb, but when they interviewed Reynolds at the Airbnb that night, they did not arrest him. He was just drinking. It wasn't until 2 Metro police detectives got involved days later that Reynolds, who rented the Airbnb in his name, was identified as the attacker. The victim and her neighbors testified when Halliburton confronted Reynolds and his friends the next day. They laughed at her and acted as if it was no big deal. He said he was sorry with a smile on his face. According to the neighbor, one of the guys said, "We are police from New York, and you didn't make a big deal about it. We were just drinking." On the stand, 7 people, 3 of whom were police officers, including himself, traveled to Nashville. That weekend, they planned to spend several days for one of them bachelor party. So he blacked out. All I remember was talking to a Metro police officer and then for an NYPD police officer. So you see what he's doing. He's going to tell what he has to tell so he doesn't get perjury. You can't really prove he had the knowledge of anything else other than the fact he talked to a police officer. See, this is that sneaky shit. He's saying what he has to say and letting the events play out. Like, I'm just going to sit back. Yeah, I did talk to that police officer. I remember that conversation, but everything else, I don't know anything else that happened that night. Later that night, they went to dinner, turned to a van. Neighbor Justin Roddick was standing outside watching them. What are you looking at? The dude said, "I think I'm looking at who broke into my neighbor's house last night." Reynolds said he's sorry, said he's spending for 30 days from his job. Although he'd been decommissioned, said he remained employed by his department on Friday. I'm not getting into all the judge stuff. The DA did try to get him some time in jail. I want you to understand what this is. That cop should be fucking dead, okay? We shouldn't be talking about it. He should be laying in a box somewhere. I keep making this point over and over and over and over and over again. Forgiveness. What are you forgiving? This is the Caucasian. This is my country. This is my world. I can go wherever the fuck I want. You can't stop me. I'm the police. What else explanation do you people need? He told you. This is my mother effing house. I don't have to wait. I don't have to ask for permission. None of that. None of that shit. You niggers? You fucking niggers? Ain't that what he said? So I look, man, I told you. I'm done. That guy should be dead, man. We shouldn't even be talking about this kind of shit. Whether it be this, or whether it be Tatiana, whether it be Bosham John. I'm tired of having these discussions of these crackers busting up in folks' houses and thinking that whatever they do, they basically have the qualification to go wherever they want at any time, even off duty. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having this discussion. I'm tired of reading this shit. I'm tired of it, guys. I'm sick and tired of it. Guys should be fucking dead. And I said, look at how cowardly they are. It's always a woman with some kids. Like when these white men do this, it's like Tatiana. She's in the house with her little nephew playing video games. Botham John's in the room eating ice cream with some shorts on that ain't even got pockets in them. And she's, I'm threatened. Oh, I'm threatened by this big black man. Oh God, his shorts ain't even got pockets, man. I mentioned the one in Chicago, the woman walking around with a Puerto Rico shirt on, and white man, you need to go back where you come from. Are you illegal? Are you illegal? And I'm sitting up here like, and he followed her around it's like a good 10-minute video. I don't want you to think he just said it one time and she walked. You could tell she was trying to walk away. He kept following her. And so here you are following this young woman around in a park. She clearly don't want to talk to you, and you're following her around, bothering her. See how creepy Caucasian men are? See, not all of them, but see how creepy these race soldiers are? There's a pathology there. That's why when they make these jokes about everything's politically correct and everything's not, you're being too politically correct. Why are you making everything about race? This is why. This is because this is what you people do. Even when you're off duty, you're persecuting the black man. Even when you're not even on duty, you still gotta go somewhere and fuck with black people. I don't do that. Like, I don't have any interest to go fucking with any white people when I'm not working. Period. I want to say it again. I don't feel any need or desire to go stalk any white people, even if I knew they didn't have a gun. I have no need to do that. I have no interest to do that. I don't understand that. To go follow people. My point remains the same. That guy should be in a box. Listen, it's people out here don't fuck like that, man. I mean, Tennessee, it's people down here. They're not playing about this shit. And then, you know what got me before I go any further? He said, we are police officers from New York. You don't need to make a big deal about it. We were just drinking. You see this? That's like a sort of a legitimization. My first word to say, what the fuck that mean to me? You realize you're not in New York, right? What the fuck do I care about what you fucking do in New York? What do I care about that? That means, but like I said, so they do. They got to get a group. They got to get a group and go deal with a woman. She's by herself with her boys. Got to be a gang of them. I bet you one of them had a gun too. That's the nature of the Caucasian. That's it. What the fuck do I care about what you do in New York City? What do I care about that shit? But you know what I thought to myself of? He's done that before. Or one of those cops has done that before. I mean, I know you guys have heard about, you have some police officers, I don't know how it's still like this, they like working black areas because they know if they get too rough, black people don't put in complaints. And if they do, black people don't generally follow up. I've been hearing that since I was a teenager. I don't know how it is now, but in the 90s and 2000s, that's how it was. If they go up in there and they get a little rough, I ain't talking about killing, but they get a little rough or they pop somebody or slap them or something, it's a big deal. Like I said, they laughed at her and I like it was no big deal. That's it. I'm a police officer. We're police officers from New York. And you make a big deal about it. Let me tell you something. If they had brought out $500 and put it in her hand when he said that, that'd be one. And like I had a guy hit my truck years ago. I was at the Walmart DC in Bedford, Pennsylvania. And he hit my truck, messed the mirror up. And I called him, gave me $100. I never told nobody. If it was something like that had happened and the cops put money in her hand, I'd be like, all right, okay, I see what I'd be like, these gangsters, but maybe he really was just drinking. I mean, up there, that's how they think money make the world go round, whatever. They don't think about, like, you disrespected me. It's like, man, take this shit. But the fact that they laughed at her, you know what that means? This is another example of what I talk about. And the judge mentioned it. If it wasn't on camera, it would have just gone away. It would have blown off. They wouldn't have. Yeah, I'm not so sure what happened had she, the mother, Albert, had not been on the phone with police. The main thing is this not be swept under the rug. This kind of conduct that occurred that night cannot be tolerated in any circumstances. That judge and the DA too, they were on point. I give them that. That if it had not been on the phone like 10 years ago this happened, I'm not sure he even got on a week or 2 weeks in jail. I'm not sure he would have got anything. I'm sure, it probably somebody back in the NYPD would want to talk to him about it, but wouldn't go nowhere. It'd be like he'd be on somebody's unofficial list like, hey, watch this guy. Because even back in the 90s and all that, you still had commands that didn't tolerate racism, and they didn't have the powers to do what they do now. We didn't have the conscience we have now, but they still were like, this guy's, he's gonna kill somebody. He's gonna go out here and start some shit, and it's gonna be riots. They knew that then, not because they care about racism, but because they realized that he has a problem. You understand? It's like me. I could have somebody around me that they're an okay person, but they're always causing problems. That could cause me problems down the road. Not now, not tomorrow, not next week, but eventually, we might be out somewhere and they start a fight or something. You see what I'm talking about? I don't need that. And there's plenty of folks in NYPD probably think the same way. But my point just remains the same. There's no reason to be done with these people. And I have no faith in the justice system. I have no faith in this. Willie D was talking about how we would have gone to prison for this. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. I mean, he certainly should be a police officer. I think it says more about what NYPD does to him than anything. I mean, I don't know. I had a family member that got in a DWI and high-speed chase, lost his job for that. And he had a case in New York, South Carolina where it happened, and a case up here where he worked, Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. So, who knows? NYPD didn't decommission him. He might be fired. It takes a process. He has to do all that stuff. But I don't have any faith in the system. And more and more, I have less faith in any of it. But then it's weird. It's kind of weird. I'm going to tell you, my opinion about police is kind of weird. Hear me out. I got it. Hold on a second. Since Trump has been in office, I've got a weird respect for law enforcement, and I wanna explain that. I think my respect started with the bomber, with the mail bomber. That was when it started. It was in the info. I'm still on the road when it happened. I think I made a video about it somewhere. And Alex Jones like, oh, they don't have to do all that. You know, it's getting that serious. And I'm sitting up here like, wait a minute, man. This fool put bombs in the mail. And you're sitting up here and you're trying to tell NYPD not to roll out the big dogs? You crazy? You mean people live in a square block in New York City? You fucking crazy? and I that's when I started to realize that Alex Jones is an ideologue. And this is what ideologues do. I should do a video on this separately. Yeah, I'll do a video on this separately. Peace out.